Good morning. Edna Keep here for Mindset Monday on Tuesday. So yesterday we had a challenge with our connection and we couldn't get it to go through. So we're going to try again today and hopefully it'll work. I know I had a few people shout out to me yesterday, "Where are you, Edna? I need my Mindset Monday." And yeah, we just couldn't get the connection. I tried 3 or 4 times and it just wouldn't connect. So I'm not sure if that was a Facebook challenge or if it was my area challenge. But anyway, we're on and we're live today. And hopefully we can get you caught up, and hopefully we didn't ruin your day yesterday by not being here early enough. So anyway, today I want to talk about sales because so many people struggle with sales. They have a lot of it is a mindset thing, and I want to talk about that. But I also want to talk about some ways to get around possible objections that people might give you. So as Zig Ziglar says, and I love Zig, he's so cool. He says, every sale has 5 basic obstacles. They are no need, no money, no hurry, no desire, or no trust. So keep that in mind when you're doing a sale. Maybe you need to build a bit of a trust factor with people before you start asking them for money. And some of it is by the people that you surround yourselves with. And definitely it's knowledge and how you can talk about a deal and how you can present a deal and stuff like that. Anyway, a little bit about Zig Ziglar. I know most people know Zig Ziglar if they have anything to do with sales, but some of you may not. So I'm just going to give you a little bit about him. So his name is actually Hillary Hinton, and I don't know if it was because it was Hillary, but he got changed to Zig. Which I like much better than Hillary. And he was born in November 26 and died in November 2012. He was an American author, salesman, and motivational speaker. He was born 10th of 12 children in Alabama. And at the age of 6 years old, he lost both his father and his sister. So if he had any reason to give up on himself and not shoot for the stars, that could be it. Like how many people are brought up without a father or lose their father at age 6. That's tough. And then a sister on top of it. He did start his career at door-to-door sales. And just yesterday I listened to, I read a blog post on one of the fellows that I know. And he was talking about door knocking in finding deals. Like he says, get out of your vehicle and go knock on some doors in a neighborhood that you want to buy. And one of the key things is one of the key things he said, which I thought was really important, was when you knock on the door, first of all, it's much better if there's a man and a woman, not just a man, because a lot of times people won't answer the door if it's just a man. They feel intimidated or scared. But if it's a man and a woman, and then the other, it is better. So take your spouse or a business partner you're working with. Then he says, when you knock on the door, take a step back. And then that way it's less intimidating for anybody answering the door because you're step back so that they feel like if they feel threatened, they can just slam the door, right? So keep that in mind. And then he said, and then just instead of saying, hey, do you want to sell your house? You would start off by saying, we're looking to buy in your neighborhood, and we just wanted to know if you would know anyone who might be interested in buying or in selling. And you know what? They may just very well invite you in. So that I thought that was a really good door knocking thing. That's something I've never done, so I'm not speaking from experience. One of my very early mentors, Shelley Hagan, she came to town to mentor us to Regina. She's from Regina. And that was actually one of the things that she wanted us to do. We'd been down at the courthouse and we found a drug house and or grow operation, I guess is what it was called. And so people had been growing drugs in this rental house, and she wanted us to see if we could maybe get a really good deal on it. So she wanted to go knock on the door and then just talk to them. And I went, oh my God, I'm not getting out of the truck. You and Warren can go knock on that door. I'm not knocking on the door. So even now, I've never went around and knocked on doors. So like I said, that's not coming from experience. But when I read it, I thought, you know what, that's a really good point. And I'll share that with my audience. So And you know what? If I could pronounce his name, I would say it too. But it's from Team Made Millionaires. If you guys get a chance to follow him, good information. Anyway, so Zig started his career with door-to-door sales. I believe it was pots and pans or something like that. Then he navigated to sales and training for the automotive industry, and later went on to be an author and motivational speaker for business. Over the course of his life, he wrote dozens of books on topics of sales and success. So no matter what industry you're in, it's very likely that sales is a good part of it. And one of the things for people who say, well, I'm not in sales and I could never be in sales. You know what? If you're married, you probably did a good job selling yourself. If you have kids, you probably do a good job selling your kids every single day. Or maybe if you don't do that good at it, maybe you need some sales techniques so that you can get out there and sell yourself and get your kids to listen to you better, and maybe get married if you're not married, if that's something that you want to do. So anyway, as a real estate entrepreneur, chances are you're offering a great product or great deal, but you need to be able to explain it very clearly to your audience. I always say that a confused mind always says no. So if you can't explain your deal in a very, very short sequence, people's eyes are going to glaze over and they're not going to listen to you. So you have to be able to present clear and concise. And that's so important, because if you can't explain it clear and concise, that means you don't know enough. Or you're just too wordy. Maybe you know too much, because sometimes people who know too much are very detail oriented. They talk themselves out of sales because they give way too much information. And most people don't need that level of information to make a decision. So what I tell people is, if you're not a detail person, you probably don't have to worry about this. You're going to give high level, and most people will. That'll be enough. Now, the people that want more detail will ask. So you do high level, and then you say, "Does that make sense?" And they'll say, "Yes, but explain this to me more." And then you get to explain more. But don't go like on for another half an hour when they ask you one question. Answer the question. Stop and ask again. Does that make sense? Does that help you? Does that give you more information? And then they might ask another question and then answer that question. But just because you know every single thing about the deal doesn't mean your an investor partner needs to know that. They will ask you for what they need to know. It's one of the reasons why I never go shopping for vehicles. And I always tell my husband, and I don't want to look at vehicles until I'm ready to buy, because if I find something I like, I want to buy right now. So what I do is I send him shopping, and he shops because he loves that, and he negotiates, and he gets in there and he drives it, and he drives this one and drives that one. He'll send me a picture and he'll say, "Do you like that?" And I'll say, "Yeah" or "No." And then he'll make the decision on which one or two I might come in and test drive. Then I go in and one or two, and I'm done. That's all I need. What color is it? What kind is it? And how does it drive? I don't need to know what kind of engine it has. I don't need to know what kind of tires it has. Most of the time, I don't even care what year it is. Just make it look brand new and ride brand new, and make me feel good when I sit in it. So that's the way I buy vehicles. I bought vehicles over the phone before Warren came along. So now we get a little bit more. And plus, I used to always buy new. Now he convinced me that we shouldn't buy brand new because it's just a waste of money coming off the lot. So most of the time we don't buy brand new. So anyway, the best way to clearly explain your offer is to understand the possible objections people might have ahead of time. So I like the way Zig boils down the obstacles to these 5. So let's apply these to real estate, right? Okay, so first of all, there's no need. Well, people have to live somewhere, right? You have to find the need of the person you're working with on the deal. If it's an investor and they say, "I can't see the value of real estate," ask them why they're living in a house or an apartment. Or, if they didn't see the value in real estate, would they not just be living in a tent? There's value in real estate, especially in Canada, where you couldn't live in a tent year round no matter what. So is there value in real estate? You don't get real estate. Most people make their biggest net worth by the home that they buy. And your home is still not considered an asset because it takes money out of your pocket. But in the long run, if you've bought a $50,000 house and you go to sell it and it's worth 400,000, you didn't do anything. You just owned it long enough to get it paid off and have inflation take it to where it belongs. So keep that in mind. Everybody needs real estate if they need a place to live. Another objection is no money. Well, many times money is a problem, whether it's finances or financing. This is where you educating them comes into play. So if you can explain to others how a deal can be done in a joint venture by using other people's money or RSPs, then this objection is solved. And another thing that I like to tell my students is show them the money. They don't always realize that they actually have money. So people will say, I don't have any money, but they have a savings account that has 100 grand in it. They'll say, I don't have any money, but they got $200,000 in mutual funds. They'll say, I don't have any money, but their business is sitting on a whole bunch of cash capital that maybe they could invest short term. Or maybe they think they need it short term, but they don't, things like that. So people can invest in, and the other one is, of course, their home equity line of credit. That's money. That's dead money. It's not working for you. Why not, if you can access that money at 2.5%, 3%, why not access that money and take it out and have it earning you another, 15% on your money? Like I tell people too, it's not like you're taking and finding new money. That's just called reallocating your assets. So if you have a $500,000 house here that's paid off, that house is growing by about 3% a year. But if you take $100,000 out of it, put it in this house, your net worth remains the same, but now you have two houses working for you growing at 3% a year. And if you put tenants in this property, then your tenants are paying off your mortgage. And a lot of times people don't know those basics. So if you know, share it with them. That's a big education factor. Another thing is a lot of people think that their kids have to rent when they go to university. Well, why not buy a house with a basement suite and rent it out, and your kids can probably live there for free? How about that one? Do you think, even if you don't have a piece of that action, just giving people that kind of advice elevates you to here? Now, there's certain things that people sometimes will do that you need to help them with. So let them know how you can help them. Maybe you can help them find that particular house that fits, especially if there's somebody from small town Saskatchewan, don't get into Regina or Saskatoon very often. You can help them find a house, and you know what? You can get paid a fee for that. You can help them keep the other part of the house rented. If they just have one kid, maybe they take the basement suite and they rent out the rest of the house. There's so many ways, and how valuable it is for people to know that. I know my brother bought a condo in Saskatoon when his kids started going to university. He's got 3 kids. The oldest, I think, is 28 right now. So all 3 kids went to school. They had roommates and stuff like that. So they got their rent paid for free. And when Terry sold that property, he made a really, really good return on it. I don't remember the dollar amount, but he made a really good return on it. So in effect, his kids got paid to go to school. Now, he had one extra bonus. He was a teacher, so he taught his kids how to apply for all those, I'm not sure what they're called. Oh, scholarships. I was going to say grants, but they're not grants. They're scholarships. And so he had a good thing going there too. So some people can actually get paid to go to university. Wouldn't that be cool for your kid to do? Okay, so that's the second one. And then the third one is no hurry. So no sense of urgency. A sense of urgency is something that helps any sale, and sometimes that can be hard to come by in real estate. Buying a property is a big decision, and honestly, it's not smart to rush into it. However, if you, the person who's managing the deal, know all your numbers, you can go in, you've got the property under contract, you're the expert. Yes, I've analyzed a ton of deals. This is a good deal. You can tell them that, and show them the numbers on it, then you don't have to let them wait. Now, what I do is I send it out to several people I know that are waiting, and everybody else too. Because a lot of people, when they're a brand new investor, they need time to process that. So you only have a week or two to get that deal done if it's a house, maybe a little bit longer if it's an apartment. So lots of times that deal will be gone before most of your investors come back. That doesn't hurt. You send out another email and say, sorry, that deal's gone. Now, while I'm in the search, I'm always looking at new deals. As a matter of fact, I got another one under contract, or whatever your story is. Let's talk about your situation. When would you be ready to move? Because when these deals come up, I only got a couple weeks. So if you email me 2 weeks later and say, yeah, I think I'm interested in that, there's a good chance it's going to be gone. And gone in one or two ways. One, I couldn't raise the money, or the other is fully funded. So use both of those excuses. So know your homework, get your JV partners lined up, and get things moving on them. And you know what? It's okay to ask for a deposit up front if people want to be the next person to get your deal. Just say, okay, take the money down to the lawyers. I'll make sure you're the next person that gets a deal. Because everybody else, you still send out the deal, but they might not be ready to move. See? So no desire, that's another one. So I don't think no desire is a problem for real estate. The vast majority of people aspire to own a property or make an investment for retirement. The ones that say they don't have a desire are the ones that aren't sure how it works or how easy it really can be when working with a qualified joint venture partner. Most people are terrified of dealing with tenants and toilets. I know that was my biggest fear. I didn't want to deal with tenants and toilets. I walked away from a building just because it was vacant one time. I was scared of putting in my own tenants. Now, years later, it's not such a big deal, but at the time it was. So a lot of times by you taking all those fear factors off the table, first of all, there's two of you involved, so they're not 100% responsible for any shortfalls of cash. And another thing is you're looking after the tenants, you're looking after repairs and maintenance, all that kind of stuff. They put up the money, help you get the mortgage, and then you do everything else. Once they see how easy that can be, they're more apt to invest with you. I'm just going to say good morning, Connie. Good morning, Terry. Terry says, I sell every day with my business. Yeah, I imagine you do when you're selling renovations, right? Good morning, Mary. Hey, congratulations to Mary and Logan. They put a 12-unit apartment building under contract in Regina yesterday. So if any of you want to know or want to become involved in that, like I said, they just got it under contract yesterday. Great deal. South End Regina, fully occupied, cash flows right from day one. Talk to them. They're looking for money partners. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Logan. Good morning, Pon. Good morning, Minaj. And good morning, Amanda. Perfect. Okay, great. We got some good people on here this morning. I hope you're learning lots. Give me some thumbs up. And I see some people have been sharing. Thank you so much for sharing the video. That's awesome. Okay, so the next one, no trust. So trust is incredibly important to establish with your clients or joint venture partners. As I already mentioned, buying a property or making an investment is a huge decision. So the more you're trusted, the better decisions they'll make and the easier it'll be for you to do your job as a real estate entrepreneur. So keep that in mind. You need to build trust. What are some of the biggest ways to build trust? Integrity. Integrity is so huge. If you tell an investor, you meet them at an event, a networking event, and you tell them, I'm going to follow up tomorrow, and you don't, there's 1 point against your integrity. So the integrity starts with yourself. So the ones of you that are in the 90 Day to 5K program, part of the integrity is getting your homework done. You promised yourself when you took the class that that you were going to get your homework done and get it in on time so that you could stay. And I got lots of homework. Thanks very much, everyone. But be honest with yourself. That's the start. And then be honest with your investors. And building integrity, credibility, that comes with time sometimes. But the biggest factor is building that. If you say you're going to do something, do it. The other thing, when you have investors working with you already and they're expecting a payment and you know that something's come up in the last quarter that payment's not going to happen, as soon as you know, let them know. Don't drag it on and see if you can fix it. See if you can, maybe you can fix it by the time it comes up, but get them aware that maybe, just maybe, the cash flow is not coming out next quarter. So those are other good things. Be very cognizant of what you say you're going to do and get it done, even if it's just what you say to yourself. I'm going to eat clean today. I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water. I'm going to do my video. Those are all promises you make to yourself. And if you break them down, that's where integrity falls off. So build that up. It's a muscle just like anything else. Build up your integrity, build up your credibility, and investors will be attracted to you. Now, one of the things that I want to mention today is I'm launching my mindset course it's going to be recorded and sent out first thing Saturday morning. We're just putting the final touches on it. I know I'm a little late. I expected to have it out sooner, but we've had a lot going on. So forgive me for that. And it will be in your inbox Saturday morning for those of you that have signed up for it. So what it's all about is I really realized that the biggest portion of our success has to do with our mindset. You know what? We decided we were going to go for it, and we surrounded ourselves with like-minded people, and then we went for it. But being around people doing what you're doing is so important, because you get to see what they're actually doing, and that's what will help motivate you too. Like Logan. I hope you don't mind if I use you for an example, but Logan's been in my mastermind for almost a year. And he was feeling bad because he didn't have a building yet. And you know what? Not that he didn't try. He had 2 or 3 different offers out there, but just for different reasons, they fell through. Either they wanted too much money for it, or they wanted us to assume a mortgage, different things like that. But they've analyzed and analyzed. I think I was talking to Logan. I think he said he's analyzed over 200 buildings. So he knows he's got a good deal. And I've seen the numbers on it. I really, really like it. So but he was worried. You know what? It's taken me a whole year. You know what? So few people own 12 doors after a year. So few people. When we took our courses with Rich Dad, we sat with some people, and I think I've told this story before, who had been in the program for 3 years. We just started. And we thought, oh, wow, we get to have lunch with these people who've been in the business for 3 years, got to see what they're doing. We said, okay, so tell us what's going on. How many properties do you have? And they kind of looked at each other. None. What do you mean none? I thought you said you've been doing this for 3 years. Yeah, well, we can't find anything we like. Well, so you know what? And they were just looking at houses. They weren't even looking at apartments. So you know what? It might take you a year to get your first apartment building, but holy Hannah, 12 units, 1 apartment building, first deal. That's awesome. That's awesome. So big shout out anyway. Hope you don't mind if I used your story there, Logan. And like I said, reach out to them in the Facebook group. They are looking at bringing on partners. I think the absolute best way to start your credibility and your integrity is already being part of a joint venture. I know that was a big thing for us. We joint ventured with other people with our money and credit before we started bringing in investors. And then that way you get to see what happens on both sides of the table. And you know what? Both sides of the tables need to know there's no lying going on. There's no spreading the truth thin, or whatever you call it, or white lies. Everything that our partners know, they would know up front as well. So share that. So anyway, that's a really good way to get started. But I kind of got off on mindset. But so my mindset course starts on Saturday. It's going to come straight to your inbox. There's a little bit of homework involved with it, but it's more like this is some of the stuff that we do to train our brains. It has made such a difference in our life. I've been studying positive and personal development for years, 20 years. But it's only been in the last few years, maybe 5 years, that I've really, really focused on mindset, because I could see that that's what was holding us back. We had a good business, but we wanted more, and the only way to get more is by working on your mindset. So that's why I decided to launch this mindset course in conjunction with my 90 Day to 5K. So you don't have to be enrolled in the 90 Day to 5K program to get the mindset course. If you think that you need to work on your mindset first, It is, and I think Chandel and Amanda are going to put the link on here, but it's a great place to start. And if you can only afford one, start there. And if you can afford two, there is a special. You get it for a certain break off if you buy it separately or doubled up with the 90-day to 5K program. So if you know that that's something you want, then you'll know, like I said, once you sign up, the 90-day to 5K is you have full access to it for lifetime. And so you can get the mindset course thrown in at a certain price. I can't remember what it is. So Chandel, you'll have to help me. And the reason is because we change the prices. Like, for example, I sold the 90-day to 5K course all last year for $5,000. Then in late last year, December, January, I sold it for $1,297. Then we just increased the price to $1,997. In the next launch, which sounds like we're going to wait till September, it's going to be $24.97. So even though we started a week ago today, if it interests you and you don't want to pay more, get in on it now. You also get the special on the mindset if you sign up for the two. But the mindset course all by itself launches Saturday. It's going to be sent out weekly. And then you'll have access to it again in your membership section. Once it's there, it's there. And then of course we'll work on it every Mindset Monday. We'll keep growing you and growing you. But there's some basic stuff that a lot of people really need to know to get everything going. Brian, hey, hi Brian. So Brian Rafferty is from Ireland and he made his first investor pitch today. Awesome. How did it go? So Brian just joined my program and so he's had one set of homework already, did his first pitch. That is so awesome. Let us know how that went, Brian. Well, you might not even know yourself, right? Good morning, John. Good morning, Vicky. New faces on here. So Logan says, thanks, Ed, and I agree. 12 units in 1 year is beyond what I thought possible. You're right. Mindset's everything. We all deserve and can attain great deals. Absolutely. Okay, so Amanda has listed here. So our mindset course is $597. And there's the link, 90days5k.ca/mindset offer. So if that's something that interests you, and you don't have to be in real estate to do this mindset. Like I wrap it around real estate because most of my followers are in real estate, but you don't have to be in real estate to benefit from mindset. Mindset will help you with everything, relationships, and I call it mastering your money mindset, because I think if you can take care of the money challenge in your life, you can take care of almost anything, because so much of it is all interrelated, and you'll get to know that throughout the 12-week course. So I think I am going to sign off. I do have another appointment here this morning. I am actively talking to different people about investing right now too, because we've got a few really interesting deals on the go. Is there any questions at all this morning? Just checking my time. Give me 1 second. I had to laugh. One time I was on, this lady brought us up on stage and she says, what time is it? And lots of people, their cell phones are back on their chairs or in their purses or something like that. And nobody could tell her what time it was. And she says, I always wear a watch. People should be wearing watches. I don't like this finding out what time it is by your cell phone, but I'm a guilty party. I don't like wearing watches and stuff. So I always need my computers or my phone to tell me what time it is. So 10:32, so that is our 30-minute Mindset Tuesday on Monday. Next week, we'll be back to our regular Mindset Monday. So the people in the course are going to get a call every week. We're going to do a call where we're going to work on some of the issues that you might be having. And I will be sharing some of that stuff when it comes on this Mindset Monday, but that's going to be a lot more detailed. We're going to get into certain specific challenges people are having in the group call to help them get over it, because a lot of us, we don't even know the mindset challenges we have. Just yesterday, I was talking to my accountability buddy that I work with. She's from New York and she's a realtor. And she has some clients that don't listen very good. And I heard her say just about every time we've called, you know, if these clients would just listen to me better, then I wouldn't have all these challenges. So I said, you know what, that's kind of a mindset issue. How can we get it so your clients listen better? Can we maybe do a contract up front, or can maybe tell them I'm not going to take you on if you don't listen to me? Or maybe you don't take on clients that aren't ideal clients. So there's answers for all that stuff that you feel is holding you back. There's answers for that. So get in there, get the course. You absolute guarantee you're going to love it. I also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if there's any issues at all that you can't swing it, or it's not making sense to you, or you're too stressed to take it, I don't care what your excuse is. You got 30 days to try it out. I know it'll change your life. So get in there, sign up, and be ready to change your mindset. 12 weeks, you can absolutely change your life. I know it. I've seen it done. Different coaches I've worked with have, just with one sentence or one word or one idea that I got, has changed my way of thinking. So when you can change your mindset, you can change your life. So I look forward to working with you, and I'll talk to you all on Free Coaching Friday. And next week we should be back to our regular scheduled Monday. Today, yeah, good connection. Didn't have it cut out on us once. Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.